All right, today we're going to dive into a psychological technique that is, well, it's pretty fascinating and honestly a little intense. It's all built around one single idea, that you can completely change how people see you and even establish a sense of dominance just by how you use your eyes. So let's get right into it.
So, right off the bat, the core idea here is incredibly bold. It doesn't just treat eye contact as a way to connect with someone. No, it reframes it as a tool. A tool, as the source says, to dominate any room. Now that is a really powerful claim, so let's unpack how it's supposed to work.
So how does this actually play out? Well, the idea is that every time you make eye contact with someone, you're playing an unspoken game. It's like the silent battle for dominance that most of us are in the middle of and losing without ever even knowing the rules.
And in this game, it's pretty simple. There are really only two roles. You've got most people, and what do? They break eye contact first. And that little action, that glance away, signals a kind of unconscious submission. But then you have the master. They hold their gaze, and that signals dominance. The entire dynamic, we're told, hinges on that one single moment. And this is absolutely the crucial point. If you want to shift the power dynamic in any conversation, in any room, you have to start by changing how you use your eyes. That's it. That's presented as the foundational key to this entire technique.
Okay, so this brings us to the absolute bedrock of the whole technique. It's one single foundational rule that everything else is built on top of. You could call it the barrier to entry, you know?
The main instruction is so simple you can't forget it. Most people look away first. Don't be most people. It's basically a direct challenge to a habit most of us have, and the instruction couldn't be clearer.
And you've got to understand, this is about way more than just winning some staring contest. The idea here is that by simply not looking away, you fundamentally change how other people perceive you. You're establishing your presence, a sense of control, right from the very first second of an encounter.
But just holding your gaze? That's only step one. That's just the beginning. The technique builds on this with a very specific three-part method that's actually called the predator technique. So let's see how this gets a little more complex.
So here they are, the 3 advanced steps. We've talked about the first one, never break contact, but now it gets into 2 other really distinct concepts, this idea of looking through the person and something called the triangle method. Let's break those down.
Okay, so this whole looking through them thing, what does that even mean? It's not about having a blank, dead-eyed stare, not at all. The idea is to project a focus that's so intense, it's almost as if you're seeing the thoughts behind their eyes. It projects this unwavering, almost formidable kind of focus. And now we get to what's probably the most advanced part of this whole thing, the triangle method. This involves slowly, deliberately shifting your gaze from one of their eyes to the other eye, and then down to their mouth and back up again. This very specific pattern is designed to build some serious psychological tension.
Okay, so we've got not breaking eye contact, looking through them, this intense triangle method. You have to wonder, right? What's the end game here? Why go through all this trouble? What's the intended outcome?
And that question, well, it leads us right to the final piece of the puzzle, the described impact of mastering this gaze. And let me tell you, the claims about what this can ultimately do are pretty significant.
And there it is, the ultimate claim. This escalates things from just influencing an interaction to a much more powerful and provocative concept, outright control.
So yeah, we're not just talking about a little confidence boost here. The stated outcomes are about actively influencing other people, dominating your social interactions, actually controlling how they perceive you, and commanding attention and respect. It's really framed as a direct tool for social influence.
And you know, to really drive the point home, the source material itself gives this a pretty dramatic label. It calls it a form of forbidden psychology. That phrasing alone positions the technique as something powerful, maybe even something a little dangerous.
And this really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is something like this just an assertive tool for building your own confidence? Or when you take it to this extreme, does it cross a line into something else entirely, into a form of manipulation? The source presents the method. The conclusion? Well, that's for you to draw.